Yeah.
Shall we?
Oh, yeah.
What characteristics do you abhor in humans?
They're weak. They're brittle. They break easily. They're funny looking. They stink. I hate them. I created them. You're like a retarded child that beat you to teach you something, hit you again and again, but you never learn. I despise humans. I don't even need a reason. I don't need a reason to do anything. I'm Oderus Urungus, God damn it.
So there's basically no redeeming characteristics whatsoever.
No! Well, except for the fact that I created you, and so by association you have something to do with me, and that makes you, I guess, cool in a small, teeny little way, but besides that, you're scum! Man!
So you barely are tolerating our presence in this room.
If I wasn't all whacked out on goofballs right now, you guys would be history.
You're hopped up on God.
I'm hopped up on goofballs. I'm on I'm on whale tranquilizer. It's the only way they can get interviews out of me. I'm a homicidal maniac if you don't do that.
But
yes, I am.
Isn't the world more fun with humans around?
Well, I must admit it'd be kind of boring if it was just the regular old sheeps and pigs and dogs, and that's why we had to have sex with them to create the humans. Yes, it's kind of like a cosmic ant farm, you know? I watch your wars and your diseases and your plagues and your primetime television shows, and I suppose I derive some kind of entertainment from all that crap, but the best way to do it is, of course, at a GWAR show, at a cannibalistic blood orgy, and yes, where we bring all the people out and try to grind them up in the meat grinder and do whatever it is that we do.
You said you created the human race.
Yes.
How?
Humping apes.
Can you explain specifically how that happened?
I put my wee-wee in her pee-pee and shot my jujitsu.
What was her name?
All up her Ho Chi Minh Trail.
What was her name?
She didn't have a name. She was an ape. Ape don't have, maybe her name was That's what she said anyway when I stuck it in her butt.
So you created humans.
Yes.
What about music? Did you create that too?
Created music by stringing the entrails of the dinosaurs across the Grand Canyon and plucking them ever so lightly. Actually, that was Beefcake who did that, but I will take credit for his doing.
What about speech? Did you create that?
Speech, yes. Well, no. Well, yes. Oh, yes. After we woke up, imprisoned in Antarctica for many millions of years, then, yes, well, the only thing we could say, really, was GWAR. And that's how the name of the band was originated.
What do you think of the recent revolution in what is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo?
Congo, Zaire, I don't know. Another total example of how, European colonialism has been brought into conflict with American colonialism. The French, of course, supporting the ex-governor. Now the Americans supporting the new guy, who now seems to probably be just as big a tyrant as the last guy. It's amazing what we've done to that country and what we've done to that continent. Raping it for all its mineral wealth and destroying and enslaving its people, and all in the name of progress.
You said what we've done to that country.
Well, I collectively being the creator of your race, I take credit for everything cool that you guys do.
So that's cool.
That's cool, man.
Why'd you choose...
Slavery's cool, man.
Yeah, how do you quell a slave rebellion?
Through violence. It's easy. Take a lesson from Tiananmen Square, run some heads over, get violent, break things. That's how I solve all my problems.
What do you think's going to happen, speaking of Tiananmen Square, with Hong Kong in 97?
It's so sad. 40 years ago, they had an empire that the sun never set on, and now the English have been reduced to a bunch of toffee-eating, rotten-toothed, very pissed-off people with really bad food.
Why'd you choose music as a medium to conquer the world?
Because we're so musical. Because, I don't know, I've always enjoyed jumping around, screaming and yelling, and making a total ass out of myself. And when Sleazy P. Martini told me I could do that with a rocking beat, then I had to go for it, didn't I?
You did. Is YouTube pretty much just making a mockery of a concept that you originated?
U2, I'll tell you a little story about U2. One time they called me up, they said, Oderus, we really want to get you in the big show. They wanted Oderus or somebody in GWAR to be in their big Zoo TV tour thing. So I was, flattered, and of course I thought this would be a good way to bust in there and kill him. And so we went there, and it wasn't even Bono. It was some guy named Blabo eating tartar sauce-filled donuts. They left me in the room all night with a bunch of A&R geeks, and I never even got to meet Blabo. I was really upset because I was going to rip his trachea out with my teeth.
Would you
done the world a favor?
Do you think that there would be the same kind of treatment in store for I don't know, should we say Marilyn Manson?
Oh, Marilyn Manson, that posied hack. He's eating. I'm just trying to draw him into direct confrontation with me. Everywhere I look, he's getting all the press. He's getting all the money. He's selling all the records. And quite frankly, I'm outraged and jealous. I've been sucking off kids on stage for 100 years.
How does the secretions of your genitalia compare with that of humans?
Oh, like they say, it's not the width of the shaft, it's the spurt of the chute. Knowing that, I'm able to lay cable with Charles, the likes of Charles Bronson or Jack Palance. Suffice to say, my cable is as big around as Jack Palance.
And capable of doing one-arm push-ups?
I can do one-arm dick-ups. One-pushed dick-ups. And then get the hiccups.
What do you think about afterbirth as maybe an aperitif?
Great on toast.
Being that you did create Earthlings, how is it that you allow yourself to be managed by an Earthling?
Well, we put an end to that as well. If you look around, there's no Sleazy P. Martini here anymore. I think he's pretty much abandoned us now. He's in some golden tower in New York City counting money. Once a month, a pickup truck full of crack cocaine shows up outside the Antarctic stronghold, and, that's good enough for me. But if I get my hands on him, I'm going to rip his goddamn hair off. He's abandoned us out here every night. The kids are screaming for Slaughterama. What can they do? He needs to get the crack out of his pipe and get back on the road with GWAR where he belongs.
So you guys have been around for, forever, right?
Altogether too long for the small level of success that we enjoy.
You must have known a lot of famous people throughout history, then.
Oh, I've known them all. But you got to remember, I was asleep for some time. So, I was kind of controlling the human beings through my psychic thought waves. Basically, I'd have a bad dream, you'd have a war.
You mind if I run some names by you? Tell me what you think of them, how you interact?
Sure.
Okay, what about Cleopatra?
Oh, God, that girl can gargle balls.
What about Julius Caesar?
Milk sop, highly overrated.
Jesus Christ.
A motherfucker, man. Love to party with him. He invented weed.
He invented weed?
Yes, Christ grew weed.
Excellent. Michelangelo?
Great painter, but not much of a person.
Genghis Khan?
GWAR worshiper and head of Mongolian GWAR fan club.
Bach.
He tried to build an inverted ziggurat of decapitated heads in order to impress GWAR and was crucified for it.
Bach.
Bach. If it wasn't for Bach doing what he did back then, we'd probably be doing it right now. And the show might not be as interesting if there was a 98-piece symphony on stage. We wouldn't have any room for the meat grinder.
Toulouse-Lautrec.
A silly little French painter guy with syphilis used to drool around in the left bank, and his nuts were hopelessly inflamed. If he'd met GWAR a little earlier, he wouldn't have died so alone, broke, and sexually diseased.
Isn't that pretty much the case with all French painters?
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm not even a French painter. I'm not even French or a painter.
Pablo Picasso.
Oh, silly little squiggly lines everywhere. Doesn't compare to Dali.
Andre Breton.
Breton, surrealism, GWAR, who can deny the connection?
Sartre.
Sartre, I'm just, what's the point of even reading that?
Baudrillard.
Okay, now I'm getting lost.
Neil Diamond.
The King, the jazz singer. Laurence Olivier played his father. Consummate professional. Only Sammy Davis Jr. blows him out of the water.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan is a pagan, but I'll doff my pommel to Erwin Rommel any day.
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone, hot bitch. Just watched Casino 8 times yesterday.
And the last one, Roseanne.
Fat whore.
What are on your catering riders?
Really stupid things like jelly beans and luncheon meats. You know, I want baby souffle. I want a big, tub of rat poison. But these people keep bringing potato chips.
Do you hold any ill feelings or ill will towards Gallagher?
Yes. How can he go around and beat up some watermelons? I'm fighting a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex out on stage every night, having my scrotum nibbled by penguins, having an on-stage lobotomy performed nightly. He goes out and beats up a watermelon and he gets $1 million. There's no justice in this world.
None whatsoever. With or Cuttlefish of Cthulhu?
What? Where? Why?
Where is it?
Where is it? It's in the other room right now in the enema bath, preparing for its secretion of metabolic carpazoids.
This is a momentous occasion in journalistic history.
Yes.
Perhaps mankind's history. We've uncovered a carefully hidden secret. And
what is that?
That GWAR might have full knowledge of. We have it from unimpeachable sources that GWAR has a long-lost member, Bjork. You've grudgingly granted us exclusive rights to this story, and we're here to collect assorted details.
That's true. Bjork and we were lovers once, but I kicked her out of the band because she was... quite frankly, a better singer than me.
We've heard that Slimenstra tricked her into staying behind because she refused to refrain from having sex with Oderus herself.
Exactly, and Bjork was also a clam-lapping pussy eater, and they had their own little thing. We could see a total tragic love triangle coming along, and I was just happily rutting about, blowing my cable willy-nilly, as it were, and Sleazy P. Martini thought it would be a good move to ditch the bitch before it was too late.
What was Bjork like as a child back on your home planet?
Bitching, screaming, crying, always painting with her own shit, putting her fingers up her butt, putting her fingers up my butt. She was a little ice princess. All the guys loved her, but I was the only one who could really make her shut up by shoving my dick in her mouth.
What do you imagine Bjork's spawn to be like?
Well, it's kind of I've seen her have several children before. It's disgusting. She is fiercely protective, as you can tell by her beating up that reporter in Hong Kong last year. But ugly baby, a lot like her mom. I don't know. Fuck the kid, kill the mom. Bjork, whatever.
Seems like the big thing these days is for musicians to be reunited with their kin, like the whole Joni Mitchell and her daughter thing.
Well, also, the kids are a great way to get a sagging career back on track. Like, for instance, Eric Clapton. That whole thing. His career wasn't going anywhere, so his PR guy was like, "Look, Eric, come on, let's just throw the kid out the window, and we can work with that."
It was either the kid or his career, right?
Exactly.
Out the window.
And and I think since Eric has reached so many people with his beautiful music, it's probably worth it to throw the kid out the fucking window.
While Bjork does have a lot in common with GWAR, there are some marked differences. For instance, she prefers to seep instead of spew both her music and her fluids.
Right.
What other differences do you see?
Well, she's got tits. That's
well, you have somebody with tits.
I have breasts. Yeah, well, she's got breasts. Okay. She doesn't dress like we do. That was another thing. She just didn't. She doesn't go with GWAR fashion. She likes to wear clothes. We like to wear armor.
So you like to ostracize people who just don't fit into your mold.
Exactly. I want everyone to be like me, and if you can't fucking keep up, then you're dead, basically.